March 2022, somewhere in eastern Ukraine, a Russian artillery battery, 6 5-10 2mm howitzers worth over $50 million is preparing to fire on a Ukrainian city. The crews don't know it yet, but they're already dead. 15,000 feet above them, silent and invisible, a machine the size of a small car watches, waits, calculates, no pilot, no mercy, no warning. In 18 seconds, everything will change. This is the story of the Bayraktar TB2, the drone that became a legend, a meme, and a nightmare. The weapon that proved you don't need stealth bombers or 5th-generation fighters to win a war. You just need to see your enemy before they see you. Welcome to the age of the hunter-killer drone. To understand why a Turkish-made drone is rewriting the rules of modern combat, we need to go back to a country that wasn't supposed to become a military technology powerhouse, Turkey, 2005. While America was pouring hundreds of billions into programs like the F-35 and the Global Hawk, a small Turkish aerospace company called Baykar Defense was asking a different question. What if we built something simple? The founder, Özdemir Bayraktar, was an engineer. His son, Thulshik Bayraktar, studied at MIT. Together, they saw what the American military-industrial complex couldn't or wouldn't see. The future of warfare wasn't about making things more expensive. It was about making them more accessible. The TB2, short for Tactical Block 2, first flew in 2014. It was cheap, around $5 million per unit. Compare that to an American Mu-9 Reaper at $18 million, or an F-35 at $80 million. But cheap doesn't mean primitive. The TB2 is 21 feet long with a 40-foot wingspan. It's powered by a single turboprop engine that sounds like an angry lawnmower, maximum speed, just 120 miles per hour. It can fly for 27 hours straight. It can loiter over a target for an entire day, watching, waiting, learning, and when the moment comes, it carries 4 laser-guided MAM-LSMAR munitions, each weighing just 22 pounds, each capable of destroying a tank, a command post, or, as we're about to see, an entire artillery battery. But here's what makes the TB2 truly revolutionary. It's not about the hardware, it's about the system. Every TB2 is controlled remotely from ground stations that can be thousands of miles away. Real-time HUD video feeds, thermal imaging, laser designation, all transmitted via encrypted satellite uplink. An operator sits in a comfortable chair, sipping coffee, watching multiple screens. To them, war looks like a video game, but to the soldiers on the ground, it's very, very real. The TBD was first used in combat by Turkey and Syria, then Libya, then Nagorno-Karabakh in 2020, where it helped Azerbaijan crush Armenian forces in just 44 days. Suddenly, the entire world was watching, and then came Ukraine. February 24th, 2002, 4th ISM local time, Russian forces crossed the border into Ukraine from 3 directions, tanks, artillery, hundreds of thousands of troops. This is supposed to be a quick war, a special military operation. Kiev will fall in 3 days, that's the plan, but Russia made one critical miscalculation. Ukraine had Bayraktars, not many, maybe 20 operational units at the start of the war, but 20 was enough. Within hours of the invasion, Ukrainian operators began hunting. The TB2s flew low and slow, using terrain masking to avoid radar. They targeted the most vulnerable elements of the Russian advance, supply convoys, command vehicles, anti-aircraft systems. Let me walk you through what you're seeing in this footage. This is real combat video, released by the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense, filmed from a TB2 at approximately 14,000 feet, top of your screen, timestamp, bottom right, targeting crosshairs. The image is thermal white is hot, black is cold. You're looking down at a Russian artillery position, 6 2S-19 Mista self-propelled howitzers, support vehicles, probably 50 soldiers. They've set up in a tree line thinking they're concealed. From ground level they are, from satellites they might be, but from a drone 15,000 feet up with thermal imaging, they're lit up like Christmas trees. The operator has already designated the target. The TB2's computer has calculated wind speed, air pressure, distance, the laser. Rangefinder confirms 4-3 kilometers. Now watch carefully. A MAM-L munition drops from the drone's hardpoint. It weighs 22 pounds. Half of that is explosive. The other half is guidance systems and control surfaces. For 8 seconds it falls. The howitzer crews have no idea, no warning. Russian radar can't see something this small, and then direct hit. The explosion is small by artillery standards. But it doesn't need to be big. The munition is designed to penetrate armor and detonate inside. The howitzer's ammunition cooks off. Secondary explosions rip through the vehicle. The crew never knew what hit them. But watch what happens next. Panic. The Russians know they're under attack, but they don't know from where. Some crews abandon their vehicles, others try to drive away. Doesn't matter. The TB2 has 3 more munitions, 4 targets, 4 kills. Total time time elapsed? 90 seconds. Total cost of destroyed equipment, approximately $52 million. Cost of the munitions used, around $300,000. This is the new mathematics of war. Over the first 3 months of the war, Ukrainian TB2s destroyed over 400 Russian vehicles. Tanks, air defense systems, command posts, supply trucks, but the psychological impact was even more devastating. Russian soldiers began calling the Bayraktar Korkusu, Bayraktar fear. Convoys refused to move during daylight. Artillery crews abandoned their positions. In Mariupol, Russian forces sprayed painted Bayraktar on their vehicles in large white letters, hoping the drones would think they were already destroyed and move on. It didn't work, and then something unexpected happened, something that had never happened in the history of warfare. The drone became a meme. A Ukrainian composer wrote a song called Bayraktar. It went viral, millions of views. It played on the radio. Soldiers sang it in the trenches. The TB2 became a symbol, not just of military success, but of Ukrainian resistance, of David beating Goliath. Turkey, which had been trying to maintain diplomatic neutrality, suddenly found itself supplying the most famous weapon of the war. And Russian air defense commanders found themselves with a very serious problem. So how does this slow, loud, relatively unsophisticated drone survive in a battlefield filled with advanced Russian air defenses? The answer is more interesting than you might think. The TB2 operates in what military strategists call the sweet spot, too small and slow for traditional air defense systems, but lethal enough to matter. Let me explain. Russian air defense is built in layers. At the top, you have S-400 systems designed to shoot down fighter jets and cruise missiles. In the middle, Buk and Tor systems handle medium-altitude threats. At the bottom, Panzer and Zu systems engage low-flying aircraft. Each system has a minimum engagement altitude and speed. The S-400 can't target something flying slower than 80-90 miles per hour. It's optimized for fast movers. The TB2 flies at 20 miles per hour. Radar systems are also designed to filter out cluttered, small, slow-moving objects, like birds. The TB2's radar cross-section is approximately the same as a large bird, so Russian radars often just ignore it. But there's another factor, something that proved absolutely critical in Ukraine. The TB2s hunted the hunters. Ukrainian intelligence used electronic warfare systems to locate active Russian radar emissions. Then they sent in the Bayraktars. Air defense systems have a weakness. They have to turn on the radars to see targets, but when they do, they become visible. This footage shows a TB2 destroying a Russian Panzer-1, a $30 million system specifically, designed to shoot down drones. The irony is brutal. The Panzer's radar detected the TB2. The Panzer's computer calculated an intercept course. The Panzer's missiles were ready to fire, but the TB2 fired first, from outside the Panzer's minimum engagement range. The result, one of Russia's most advanced air defense systems, destroyed by the very weapon it was designed to stop. This happened dozens of times. By April 2022, Russia had lost over 60 air defense systems in Ukraine, not to NATO aircraft, not to cruise missiles, to drones that cost less than the missiles designed to shoot them down. This is asymmetric warfare at its finest, but the TB2 isn't invincible. Russia adapted. They deployed more electronic warfare systems. They changed their doctrine, keeping air defenses mobile and radars off until absolutely necessary. They started using fighter jets to hunt drones. Ukrainian TB2 losses began to mount. Out of the original 20 or so aircraft, at least a dozen were lost by mid-2022. But by then, it didn't matter. The TB2 had already changed the war, changed the world's perception of Ukraine's military capability, changed the global market for military drones, and proven something that defense contractors in Washington, London, and Moscow had been ignoring for decades. You don't win wars with the most expensive weapon, you win wars with the weapon that works. The success of the Bayraktar TB2 in Ukraine triggered something unprecedented, a global drone arms race. Within 6 months, 28 countries had either purchased TB2s or were in negotiations to buy them. Poland ordered 24, Romania ordered 6, the United Arab Emirates placed orders, Morocco, Albania, Lithuania. Even countries that traditionally bought American or Russian weapons suddenly wanted Turkish drones. Why? Cost effectiveness. For the price of one American Mu-9 Reaper, $18 million, you can buy 3 TB2s. And you get another advantage Turkey doesn't impose, the same restrictions on use that the United States does. When you buy a Reaper, you sign agreements about where you can use it, who you can target, who can operate it. American contractors maintain it. American satellites support it. When you buy a TB2, it's yours. No strings attached. This is exactly what American defense policy tried to prevent for decades. But the genie is out of the bottle now. Baykar Defense has expanded production to 100 drones per year. They're developing the TB3, a carrier-based variant. The Akunchi, a larger, more capable system. Turkey is becoming a drone superpower, and it's not just Turkey. Iran is exporting suicide drones to Russia. China is selling wing-long drones to dozens of countries. Israel has been in the drone game for decades. The United States, which pioneered military drone technology with the Predator and Reaper programs, is watching its market share collapse. Why? Because American drones are too expensive and come with too many strings. In 2023, a U.S. Air Force general testified before Congress, "We are losing the drone export market to countries that have learned from our technology but sell at a fraction of our price." The response from lawmakers, "Maybe we should make cheaper drones," revolutionary concept. But the TB2's impact goes beyond economics. It's changed military doctrine. Every major military is now rethinking how they fight. If a $5 million drone can destroy a $50 million tank, why are we building tanks? If artillery can be hunted from the sky with impunity, how do you use artillery? If air defense systems can be targeted the moment they turn on their radars, how do you defend airspace? These are not hypothetical questions anymore. These are problems that militaries are facing right now. The U.S. Army has created new counter-drone units. Russia is developing eye-powered electronic warfare systems specifically to jam TB2 communications. The Pentagon has accelerated programs for collaborative combat aircraft eye-controlled drones that fly alongside manned fighters. All because of what happened in Ukraine, all because of Bayraktar. Let's return to where we started. That Russian artillery battery, 6 howitzers, $52 million of equipment, dozens of soldiers. In 90 seconds, it ceased to exist. The TB2 operator who launched those strikes probably never saw the faces of the men he killed. Just thermal signatures. White shapes on a black screen, that's modern warfare. Clean, precise, distant. But war is never really clean. Those Russian howitzers were targeting Ukrainian cities, civilian neighborhoods, schools, hospitals. By destroying that artillery battery, the TB2 operator likely saved dozens of Ukrainian lives, maybe hundreds. This is the moral calculus of war in the drone age. But in Russia, mothers received telegrams. Families held funerals. Young men who thought they were going to a quick military operation never came home. They were killed by a weapon they never saw, never heard, never had a chance to fight against. That's the reality of drone warfare. It's effective, it's efficient, but it's also deeply, fundamentally unfair. I spoke with a Ukrainian TB2 operator. I can't use his name or show his face for security reasons. He told me something I haven't been able to stop thinking about. He said, "Every time I press the button, I know I'm ending someone's life. I see the explosion, I see the bodies, but I go home to my family that night. I sleep in a bed, I wake up and do it again." Sometimes I wonder if that makes it worse, that I can kill from so far away without any risk to myself. This is the psychological burden of drone warfare. It's not just on the victims, it's on the operators. War has always been about finding ways to kill your enemy from as far away as possible. Arrows, bullets, artillery, missiles, drones are just the latest evolution, but they've crossed a threshold. They've removed the warrior from the battlefield entirely, and that changes something fundamental about warfare, something we're only beginning to understand. The Bayraktar TB2 is not the most advanced drone in the world. It's not the fastest, it's not the stealthiest, but it's changed warfare more than any weapon system in a generation. It proved that expensive isn't always better, that complexity is a liability, that the future of combat belongs to whoever can see the battlefield most clearly. 20 years from now, military historians will look back at Ukraine as the first true drone war. The conflict where unmanned systems didn't just support traditional forces, they became the primary striking arm. And they'll trace it all back to a Turkish-made drone that costs less than a luxury sports car. But this is just the beginning. The next generation of military drones will be faster, stealthier, more intelligent. Some won't need human operators at all. They'll use artificial intelligence to select and engage targets autonomously. The TB2 gave us a glimpse of that future, a future where war is fought by machines, where soldiers never see their enemies, where entire battles are decided by whoever has the best software. That future is coming, whether we're ready for it or not. For now, the Bayraktar TB2 remains in the sky over Ukraine, hunting, watching, waiting, a silent predator in an ancient war, a machine that changed everything. This has been the story of Bayraktar, the drone that became a legend.